Jannik Sinner is now a five-time major champion, and today he successfully defended his Wimbledon title, defeating Alexander Zverev in the final. Let's rank his five major title runs from least impressive to most impressive, taking into account his own level as well as the strength of the competition. Coming in at number 5, I have the 2025 Australian Open. This is a major where he did not have to face Novak or Carlos. However, Holger Rune really pushed him in that fourth round match. His versatility is definitely challenging for Jannik, and the physicality issues that Jannik had in the third set, as well as some cramps in the heat. After he overcame that, he really separated himself from the quarters onwards, and he really thrashed Alexander Zverev in the final. Coming in at number 4, I have the 2024 US Open. On the eve of this tournament, it became known to the public that Jannik had failed two positive tests earlier in the year, so there was a lot of questions from the media, backlash from other current players on tour, and Jannik really had to focus and compartmentalize to try to win his second major title. And again, a run that didn't include Novak or Carlos in there, but Daniil Medvedev was a formidable rival at that time and had just beaten Jannik in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. So for Jannik to avenge that loss and ultimately come out on top, win the title at the end, defeating first-time major finalist Fritz, who he was a big favorite against, for me, that's enough to put it at number 4. At number 3, I have the 2026 Wimbledon Championships. Now here, he was coming off of a disappointing Roland Garros, for sure. And, but he hadn't played a warm-up event coming in. There were some question marks. Obviously, he showed a little bit of rust in that first round, dropping 2 sets. And he never really found his forehand, even though he didn't drop any sets all the way until the semis. But however, the level raised in the semis and the finals was really outstanding. He really showed why he's the world number 1. The level of serving and the ground game really improved tremendously. And so for that reason, it deserves to be at number 3. At number 2, I have this first major title run, the 2024 Australian Open. He had just come off of serious momentum at the back end of 2023, and he had beaten Novak Djokovic twice at the end of that season, a season where Djokovic had won 3 majors. And even though he was 36, he was looking like the best player in the world. So for Sinner to beat Djokovic in the semifinals of the Australian Open, at that point in time, Novak was 10-0 in Australian Open semis and 10-0 in Australian Open finals. So for Sinner to get that win and also come back from 2 sets to love down against Daniil Medvedev in the finals was definitely huge. And I think it was really the start of his dominance. So I have that at number 2. Coming in at number 1, I have last year's Wimbledon, the 2025 championships. Now this comes with a little bit of nuance because he was down 2 sets to love against Grigor Dimitrov, and he caught a bit of a lucky break. However, the way he raised his level the next 2 matches, and ultimately it's the Carlos Alcaraz win of it all. To beat Carlos from a set down in the final, taking into account that you had just lost a really heartbreaking Roland Garros final, one of the greatest matches of all time, the best Roland Garros match of all time, to then flip that on your biggest rival and get that win from a set down, playing really outstanding tactical tennis, for me, that is number 1. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.